I think you're sick. Why? Well, I was like reading this article and it said the economy's sick. Oh boy. Alright, so looks like I'm gonna teach you and Mr. Economy here exactly what it means to have a sick economy.
I can't go out. I'm sick.
Alright, so today we are going to be taking a look at the 3 key economic health indicators, or the 3 ways we can determine if an economy is healthy. The first is the unemployment rate, or taking a look at the number of people that do not have jobs. The second key economic indicator is CPI, or Consumer Price Index, and this measures inflation, or the prices of goods and services increasing. And then finally, we have GDP, or Gross Domestic Product.
All I can tell y'all is that it's about to go down.
Boom! All right, let's look at economic indicator or measurement number 1, which is unemployment rate. So the unemployment rate is us looking at the number of people who do not have a job or are unemployed, and we use this to determine the health of an economy. A healthy unemployment rate is 4 to 6% because it actually promotes competition and it keeps people working properly. If we were to look at unemployment on a business cycle, which measures the health of an economy, you would see that an unemployment rate increases as we see a dip in a business cycle. The economic health measure number 2 is GDP, or Gross Domestic Product. So if you look at the words, it's broken down for you. Gross is the value or the measure of all value. Domestic is goods made in the U.S. or within a specific country, and product or the goods or services that are made. So it's the measure of all value of goods made and bought in a nation in a year. The formula that we use for GDP is the expenditure approach. C, consumer spending, what we spend on goods and services, plus I, which is investment from businesses, what they put into their business, plus G, which is the government spending, and then plus XN, which is our net exports. Our net exports are our exports, what we sell to other countries, minus our imports, what we buy from other countries. Usually XN, or the net exports, is negative because the US imports so many goods. If you were to look at this on a business cycle, it would see that as we spend more money, we grow or go up the cycle, and as we spend less, we go down. We down with GDP? Yeah, you know, the economy. The last economic measure is inflation, and we measure inflation, which is the general rise of all prices, by using something called CPI, or the Consumer Price Index, which is literally an index of prices from one year to the next. Inflation does hurt everyone, especially those on a fixed income, poor grandma and grandpa, and inflation decreases our purchasing power, which means as prices of goods and services go up, our money buys less. If you were to look at this on a business cycle, economic activity with inflation over time, anytime there's high inflation, you also see a dip in the business cycle because we can't buy as much.
This is inflation.
If economists want to measure economic activity, they can put it on a visual representation known as a business cycle. A business cycle measures economic activity over a period of time. A goal of all governments and economies is to have a stable economy. So when we're measuring economic activity, anytime we have a height in economic spending or activity, this is known as a peak. Following a peak will be a period known as a contraction. A contraction is actually going to be a decline in economic activity, so that's represented as a dip from the peak to the next position, which is the trough. The trough is going to be the very lowest point of economic activity on a business cycle. And following a trough, you will have growth again, known as recovery or expansion. Recovery and expansion is going to be an indicator that the economy is starting to grow again. If we see that an economy stays in a contraction or a period of decline for 6 months to a year, we call this a recession. 12 months or more, depression. Scary stuff.
We've covered the 3 different measurements of an economy to determine if you are healthy. Right on. So, we've looked at, let's see, we've got inflation. Yeah, we've got inflation. So, how are your prices looking? Tubular. Okay. We also looked at unemployment rate. How's the unemployment rate looking? Pretty good. Good. Okay. Well, what about your GDP? Is your GDP going up? Right on. We sure are. We're still riding that roller coaster. All right. Well, there you have it. Sounds like you're healthy after all. Oh, sweet. All right. Till next